Hello and welcome. I'm Patrick Curtis, Chief Monkey of Wall Street Oasis, and this is Monkey to Millions, a show where you get a front row seat as I mentor young students and professionals to try and help them break into their dream jobs. In the first cohort, you'll meet 4 students, all preparing for intense job interviews while trying to also balance a personal life and schoolwork. The goal of this show is to shine a light on the struggles of trying to break into competitive positions with a non-traditional background and to give you a roadmap for your own success. My hope is that as you get to know these 4 impressive students, you are inspired to dream big. Remember, these are real people and this is their true story. Let's get to it. In John's first session, we cover his current situation, including trying to find opportunities from a non-target school heading into his senior year. We dive into a detailed resume review and speak about what he needs to do over the next several months to help limit his downside, given how late he is to the game. Learn what I want him to do most to improve his resume, as well as specific networking advice in this session. Enjoy. Awesome. Well, you are session 2. You're the second session. You're the second person on the docket here with me. I had a really fun session with Andrew last week, so I'm excited to do this again. It was a blast.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited here as well.
Cool, man. So let's just start out. I mean, it'd be great just to kind of get a little bit of like your background, just refresh my memory. I have your resume here, but just like give me a refresh exactly kind of where you're at. I see you had like a IB internship and stuff like that, but and I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to kind of follow along here with your stuff, but if you could just give me a refresh where you're at. And so I know you're in your last year, right?
That's right. Should I say school name as well, or
whatever you have to? Yeah, I mean they can see it here, so it's fine. But like, in terms of, it'd be great to hear just like how you've progressed and kind of what you're thinking for next summer and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this summer I had a summer analyst position at a buy-side advisory shop, not too sell-side focused. So a lot of my tasks was research and putting together marketing material. So it wasn't directly related. Now this fall, I have an investment banking internship at a middle market firm down here in Costa Mesa. So I'm hoping that will help me with my full-time recruiting. So this summer, I'm pretty late to the game, I would say, but this summer, I've been networking and studying technical and behavioral questions and just really trying to put my foot in the door as much as I can. So, full-time recruiting already kicked off, but hopefully when I start receiving my interviews, I can knock those down and then get a full-time position for next summer.
Cool, man. Yeah, so you basically are a senior now. You had an internship over the summer, which is good, but it was a small boutique, so there was no kind of full-time offers given, or there was? Are they giving you an offer to come back, or no?
Yeah, no, they don't give offers.
Yeah.
And personally, I probably wouldn't have gone back.
Yeah. Okay. So, was it long hours? Did you learn a lot? Is it more because it's buy side and you want to do sell side, or?
Yeah.
When you say it's still advisory, right? It's still banking. But like buy side advisory.
More or less. I mean, most of the work I did was deal origination.
Okay.
How
cold calling? A lot of cold calling?
Yeah, a lot of cold calling, a lot of researching, putting together just profiles of companies that, our clients would be reaching out to.
And so you don't want to be doing that type of, you don't want to be like dialing for dollars.
Yeah.
for your career?
Yeah, I mean, I started the fall internship a couple weeks ago. So a lot of the work I've been doing is, putting together sims, working on different models. Like I emailed you about having a rough time with that, but I'm getting it slowly. And just hopping on a lot of phone call with our clients, which is really intriguing and interesting.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks okay. So, I mean, you're first off, agreed, you're late to the game. Like a lot of people who are going to have jobs in investment banking, post-grad they already have their offers, right? Because they had the internship. And so like, that, I know that. So we're already, and you're at a non-target. So we're kind of battling uphill, but your background's looks really strong. Your resume looks good overall. I think you have a lot of great things going for you. So I think with kind of some crazy hustle, I think you can get it's not like you're starting from zero, right? you do have a good internship on there that you can talk to at least. So maybe with that, we kind of just jump straight into your resume and just do a little resume review detail.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I actually updated my resume for my fall internship as well. It just has one bullet line. Just thought I'd include it. Could I send that over to you?
Yeah, shoot it over to me. I'll use this one for now just to like kind of
Okay.
go through this. 'Cause I assume you have some similar stuff on there from this.
Yeah.
Definitely agree to get that new one on there because then you have two different companies that are like kind of banking, and you could even like reduce the bullets under fan serve or something like that.
Definitely. Okay, sounds good.
Or actually, I would say actually just take a bullet out of your Phi Kappa,
Yeah.
Something like that. So a couple things off the bat. Number one, overall, very, very solid resume. I think there's a couple things you do really well. Number one, you like actually quantify a lot, which a lot of people fail to do. It's like one of the easiest things to improve, but you already have that. So I think you're doing really well in terms of quantifying, in terms of like how you actually made impact at each of these organizations and the specific stuff you did. The only thing I do is like even do it even more if you can. So like even like a small example under FinServe, that your third bullet, ensured quality assurance to develop application use cases to satisfy clients' user interface. Like how many clients?
Okay.
Like one client or what type of client before build out. Just like anytime you can add something tangible to a bullet, whether it's like the number of people you called, the number or the metric, any sort of metric where you made an improvement or made something, you should always do that. And I think you already know that because you either had a resume review or somebody helped you, or you just knew intuitively to do that, which is great. The other thing I'd say is you may want to take the resume and put it into the WSO format, because you have enough good stuff here where your space is really important. In the WSO resume template, it saves you a lot of space in the header because the name is off to the left and a lot of the contact information is in the upper right. And so you get an extra like bullet or two of space in there without having to sacrifice removing stuff.
Okay.
So aesthetically, I think there's a few little things with spacing you could do to improve it. Like transaction experiences feels really crunched in there. And that's something you really want to highlight since that screams banking. Right. So let's actually put a little space above that. Let's give it a little bit more airtime.
Okay.
Especially as you kind of get on a deal here with this new fall internship.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you been able to keep your grades up?
We haven't started the new year. We're actually starting this year. But no, my grades that's exactly how it is right now.
Right, it is. Okay. When do your classes start? You're late, man.
Thursday. Yeah, quarter system is super late.
That's super late. Okay, cool. Well, hey, that's good. It gives you a little more time to to kind of hustle right now, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's those comments I had. Let me see what else I was going to say. Yeah, so we did the introduction. You told us a little bit. So where are you from? Just give us a little more background about I want to just know more about like your story, your parents, where you're, are you born or raised in SoCal? Like what's the story there?
So I'm born and raised in SoCal, from Riverside. So not too far from where I'm at right now. It's close enough to home where if I ever need anything, I can, run back real quick. But it's far enough away where I have an excuse to live on my own.
Yeah, cool.
My parents, my dad's a small business owner and my mom works in life insurance. So they have no clue about investment banking or management consulting or any of those advisory services. So when I told them I wanted to do investment banking, they're like, what? Like, so they immigrated in 85. So, I mean, all they knew or all they wanted me to become was like an engineer or a doctor.
Where'd they come from?
Jordan.
Okay.
At least, yeah. So that's kind of how it all started. So I came to UCI as an engineer and then quickly realized that it wasn't for me.
Okay.
Then I jumped into math and economics, and I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the math portion because of the engineering classes. I didn't really relate to the physics and chemistry portions. I was pretty solid in math, so that's why I kind of rolled it over into math and econ, and I just enjoyed econ just from classes in high school. And then that rolled over into quantitative econ. It was just like a mesh of both, where it's like math, statistics, econ all in one.
Have you always done pretty well in school?
Yeah, I would say so. I was top 5% in high school, and I mean, coming to UCI, I always tried to like keep my grades up just because I know it'd be important in whatever I do.
Your parents have the immigrant mentality where they're like, make sure you get high grades and like you have to be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer or something.
Yeah, yeah, more or less. I mean, I guess they're harder on me because I'm their first child, and then now my two younger sisters, they're just like, yeah, just
do whatever you want, whatever makes you
yeah,
happy.
just like try your best.
Funny.
Yeah.
Are you? What does your dad do as in terms of business, small business owner?
He owns small gas stations.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
down in Lake Elsinore in Temecula.
Do you know my wife is a alum of Irvine, UC Irvine?
Yeah, I remember you mentioned when we had our initial phone call. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. She was at community college, did that, and then she ended up going to med school up at UCSF and becoming a dermatologist.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
not bad, huh? Not a bad trajectory.
Not bad at all.
So it worked out for her. So hopefully same for you. You follow a similar path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So is there like, I assume when you started at Irvine, you weren't thinking like investment banking because you probably would have looked at other more financy schools and stuff like that. But
oh yeah, I had no idea because, like
Yeah.
I said, like I'm the first child, just like in my family as a whole. Like I'm the oldest cousin as well, so I had like no idea
yeah,
what target schools were, non-targets,
of course,
or
yeah.
like I know some kids apply as like
When did you start hearing like of investment banking? Was it your sophomore year,
I
late
would say,
freshman?
yeah, I'd say like late my sophomore year, and then
That's really late. Yeah.
yeah, middle of my junior year. That's when I found out about the Investment Banking Association, and that's when I started going to their meetings, and that's when I realized like, all right, maybe this is something I'm really interested in because after my sophomore year, I had an internship with Disney, and that's kind of when it solidified that I wanted to be in finance, but
Mm-hmm.
work over there, it was great. People were awesome, great culture, but the work kind of seemed stagnant, and I guess on a day-to-day basis, more or less the same.
It was like FP&A, you mean? It was
Yeah,
like
P&A reporting, variance analysis. Yeah, working in SAP in various databases.
Because let me just step back because having that experience and then having some banking experience and being a sharp kid, there may be an option where if banking doesn't work out for you, like let's say we go through all this and you're just busting your ass and you just can't break in for whatever reason. You say you get one or two good interviews and you aren't on that day. Would you consider doing FP&A at like a Fortune 500 or an FLDP program to get some skills, or transaction advisory services at a Big Four?
Yeah.
Because you can still get into banking a year later.
Mhm.
And it delays you a year, but you're still on a track that's very well kind of paved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then once you get that banking experience, like you should definitely shoot your shot and go as hard as you can to get it. But I'm
Mhm.
saying it's always good to have, like, you don't want to be graduating in whatever it is, 9 months and be like, oh man, I put all my eggs in the banking basket, now unemployed. And then all of a sudden you're like scrambling to try to get any job.
You're right. Yeah, and I've been thinking about that as well lately. Kind of, I feel like I've been reaching out to other alumni, not just in banking,
Yeah.
just to diversify that basket. But no, like I'd definitely be interested, especially FP&A role at like a big tech company. I feel like that's something that'd be really interesing
Yeah,
to me.
then you could even the startup areas, the startup ecosystem is really interesting. You could do FP&A at like you said, at large tech, kind of cut your teeth there and potentially jump into a smaller like Series A startup that's like fast growing and exciting, and maybe be like the second person in like the finance department. Do you know what I mean? And like be right under the CFO and kind of grow there.
Yeah, that's something that I'd definitely be interested in. I actually listened to your podcast. I forgot the gentleman's name or if he even said his name, but the what is it? The FLDP program?
Yeah, FLDP. Yeah,
Yeah,
financial leadership development program. Yep.
yeah. He was like in the medical services, right?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about now. Yep.
Yeah. I thought that was an interesting story. So yeah, like I'd definitely be open. I guess I have to do my own personal research into it. But yeah, definitely be
Yeah,
open.
he went from FLDP to like a private equity backed startup, and they're growing super fast, and like he's growing with them, and so I think it's a good place to like have a good career and not corporate dev, corp fin, where you're actually doing the transactional work. If it's for an acquisitive company, a big enough company, it can actually be really, really interesting. But yeah, anyways, still go for banking. Is a great platform. Like, still go for it. We're gonna try to get you in as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I say that is because it's super late for you.
Yeah.
And so like, I know the odds are stacked against you. But I think you have a decent shot given what I'm seeing. I think you have a decent shot. So, I think it's a perfect kind of like maybe, long shot, but that's why you're here, is because I think we could potentially do it if we hit every kind of note right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's try to help you do that. So okay, so sorry, I kind of went backwards and
No, it's okay.
got your more background and more info, but so going back to the resume, I think, yeah, I definitely want to see the new one. But I think you could save some space. I think a couple things. I don't see an interest section down here.
Okay.
I'd like to see that. I mean, the other thing is Investment Banking Association is great, but you're just a general member there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want to like lead with that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Maybe. I mean, it's the most relevant, so maybe leave that there. But like interests are typically very underrated on a resume, because they it allows people who like are lazy and don't look at your resume, which is about 80% of people, before they get on the phone with you, to just quickly go down and like create a conversation and make it easy on them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So don't underestimate that. Don't think it's a wasted line. It's really not. So that's the question, is like, what are you going to put there? Because it sounds like you're pretty active with your frat. You're pretty active with like the radio station. Do you have like any interests outside of like school and work and all the activities you're doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess just on my free time, I love playing pickup basketball. I know that's like in the men's club basketball, but I kind of dived away from that this past year.
Yeah.
I love like finding new music or creating playlists. Like I think I found out one of my friends got a job at Spotify just creating playlists. I thought that was like the coolest thing. I was like, you're getting paid just to make playlists.
Awesome.
Game of Thrones took up a massive amount of my time. And yeah, I can definitely add a lot of stuff in the intersection coming
Okay, cool. Yeah, do that. I mean, I think add like 4 or 5 if you can things in there, and then send that through for sure.
Okay.
Because I think it can kind of round out. I mean, I don't think it's boring because you have the activity stuff in there, but I think it's it'll kind of round out the CV a lot more.
Okay.
What else? I mean, this was in pretty good shape, to be honest. The only other thing I'd say is, on your banking internship, I feel like, and this kind of shows, like you said, you're struggling a little bit with financial modeling, like in your internship. It doesn't surprise me, because you don't have the financial modeling like front and center you're not screaming financial modeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was like totally a banking internship, because we
right.
No,
I get that, but like I think you need to have the keywords up here somewhere somehow. With Andrew, we talked about this, and he was smart enough to like put in kind of a bullet talking about how his ongoing training with like one of these financial modeling training programs.
Gotcha.
So like I think you should do something there, whether it's whichever one you choose to invest in. I think you should do that, because then it allows you in like one of your top bullets to put in like financial modeling training with this, and so you can kind of put it under your internship near the top as a bullet. Like while you were working at the internship, you were doing self-study. But the beauty of that is it's getting DCF, financial modeling, it's getting valuation training, comps, all that stuff at the top of your resume. So literally it's hitting on all the most important skills. People are reading that. That's one of the first things they read, is like, yes, okay, he knows how to model. Do you know what I mean? And that's exactly what you want them to do, instead of like, oh man, he was just cold calling here, blah, blah, blah. Then it's just like, I don't know if that was really good experience. Can the kid actually model? And the answer is probably right now, no, not as well as you'd like, but you're working on it, right? So
yeah, that makes sense.
The point is, in the meantime, you don't want to like miss out on opportunities because people think you don't have that skill set.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you. Okay.
Like, you're clearly smart enough to develop that skill set pretty fast if you're willing to put in the time and drill. So I'd be doing that. So tell me about the hours right now. Are you like, you're going to be doing this through while you're working in school? How many hours do they expect you to work?
Yeah, so I guess the first 2 weeks was full time. So that was my first real glimpse at, because at the shop over the summer, They didn't really expect much of the interns. I mean, we'd show up like at 8, leave by like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Like it wasn't, it wasn't the horror stories that I've heard. But like at this
Was
shop,
that because it was like unpaid, or is that because they know like we're not gonna give you full-time offer? Why was it's just I guess it's probably the culture down there in Newport.
yeah, it was definitely the culture. We got paid, but it was definitely the culture.
Okay.
But at this new shop, yeah, they grind. Show up at 9, and then some days I wouldn't leave till 11 or 12. So it was definitely like a culture shock experience, but at the same time, like I should have been expecting it coming into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what most of the industry is like.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah.
It is not an easy 2 years. That's why I say if you go straight to corp dev somewhere, FLDP, it's not the end of the world. Like you can actually maybe enjoy your life for in your 20s. Maybe your early 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point is like I think you should go for it, because I think having that, especially like after, you'll be really shocked if you do get into banking within 1 to 2 years. There's a huge demand, even if you don't go to like buy side or private equity or hedge funds. There's still a huge demand for your services from like startups, from all these other, from corp dev shops, corporate M&A, because they know that if you went through that kind of grinder and did those 80 to 100 hour weeks for 2 years and you survived and you did well, and like you're a second year analyst, you're super in high demand, because they know you're going to be like, even if you drop down to like 65 hours, 70 hours, which is a lot in corporate America, like you're going to feel like it's a vacation after your 2 years.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you'll be living the sweet life for sure.
Yeah. So point is, for this stuff, yeah, I would change the template a little bit. I think overall it's looking good. I think I'm just looking at this like Wing AI Technologies business strategy lead. If you could like maybe drop those to 2 bullets each, same thing with FanServe, and then try to beef up this new internship you have as fast as possible. Do you have any have you been put on anything yet?
Excuse me. Yeah, 2 transactions
already for the new one in the fall.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a tirade of things going on right now. Yeah, so
that's awesome. So yeah, do that. Definitely put those and then reduce the other ones.
Okay, sounds good.
If you have to, even I kind of like the G League, Detroit Pistons FanServe thing, because a lot of the guys you might enjoy the sports aspect of it. So you may want to keep that, but just try to trim it. Yeah, I mean that third bullet, ensured quality assurance, develops application use cases. It's it's good, but it's not really needed. I think that definitely lean on the banking stuff. Maybe take a bullet away from your leadership. On leadership experience, is there anything else you're involved with? Maybe with the radio station, like did you do anything there besides like being a DJ? I know you're into music.
I just hosted a show weekly, and then after that, they kind of like pushed me over to Power 106, and that's just how it happened. I was VP of the club basketball for a year. I had that on my resume for a while, but didn't think that was too.
Yeah, it's club basketball. I mean, you're not gonna get too much credit for it, but it's all right. At that intersection, I think you'll be in pretty good shape. Okay. So the other stuff, just for this session, it'd be great to just see what else I was going through here. So I do like a little social media thing is good. Your Facebook is totally private, which is awesome. Keep it that way. If you have any Instagram,
find my best.
Any Instagram, whatever, just be careful. All that stuff, Twitter. You know what I mean? Make sure it's on private and or like you'd say very like you're not super controversial about anything.
Okay.
This is good. Your LinkedIn looks good. Maybe just add a little bit of color here on what you're doing. Transaction experience. I mean, just don't get in trouble. Obviously, it's pending and use the code names or whatever. Just to get more of the skill set in here, like financial modeling. Really kind of try to do that. What I really like to see here is you have over 500 connections, which is great. Tell me a little bit about. Well, let me see what else. So yeah, just in terms of social media, I think the picture. I think you could do a better job with the picture.
Okay.
I think it's a little busy in the background. Maybe clean it up a little bit, and it kind of blends in with the back, so just you pop a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, make sure try to get like a good genuine smile there.
I know. I always get crap for my smile. It's not like the best. I know it's not the prettiest.
No, but like even more zoomed in, so like you can see you. Like you seem like you're kind of like leaning back, that you're like kind of like hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
just like have a big ass smile on your face. You know, not a shit eating grin, but like you know what I mean. But what else? I think overall it looked really good. It looked solid. So yeah, in terms of networking, tell me. You said you've been networking a little bit. Tell me a little bit about that. How's it going? I know Irvine has a huge alumni, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily in finance, right?
Yeah, that sounds
it's a big school though, right?
Yeah, we're a pretty big school.
Compared to my tiny little liberal arts college, and you guys are massive. But anyways, tell me what you've been doing. I assume alumni. What else?
A lot of cold calling, like second year analysts and associates on LinkedIn and trying to find their emails. So it's been a mix of like emails and LinkedIn. I guess with the younger guys, I've been trying to like, and then like second analysts been reaching out to them on LinkedIn, and then I guess like the older crowd, I've been them.
Sorry, with the younger guys, been doing what? You broke up for a second.
I broke up. I've been reaching out to the younger guys via LinkedIn, and then the older guys through email.
Got it. Okay.
So it's been a mix. Just trying to reach out to as many people as possible. I've been having on my Google Calendar. I have like initial follow up, second follow up, and then I guess like a monthly follow up after that.
So are you keeping track of it anywhere besides GCat, your calendar? Are you keeping track of it anywhere else?
No, I have like a Google like
sheet.
Doc. Like I have like two. Like it's really messy of names and people I've been reaching out to. But other than that, like I've been relying on my Google Calendar pretty heavy.
Yeah, I definitely push you towards using some email tools.
Okay.
That might help you. Well, the problem is like you said, you're doing some of the outreach on LinkedIn. So you kind of have to have both. But there's a networking template. You can use Excel, or you could probably do the same type of stuff in Google Sheets, where you have name, initial outreach, date, and then basically have conditional formatting where it turns red.
Gotcha.
Like yellow, red if it gets too stale, or like after 2 weeks, and have certain things in there where you have, say, 500 people you reached out to. Like, how many people have you reached out to, like analysts, let's say, in the over the summer?
Couple hundred, few hundred.
And are you trying to request the connection first?
No, I add a note.
You add a short note, but then what's your hit rate on those?
I would say a little over 50, maybe 65. And then after that, I mean, if they don't reply after that, sometimes they connect and they don't reply for whatever reason. Then I'll reach out to them a week later and I'll send them.
Do you know you can get their email once you're connected to them?
Yeah, it should be on the
profile.
Yeah, profile now that you mention it.
Do you do that at all?
Yeah, no.
So that's okay. So like, dude, like I know you're super busy. Like it just takes a lot of time. And this is another job in and of itself. So and now you're gonna have school plus this, but I think doing half hour a day at least of this is really gonna be like, this is not the thing you should be letting go or slowing down on. This is the thing you should be doubling down on more than anything. Your resume is already in pretty good shape. Once you do those little changes, it's gonna be even better shape. You have other transaction experience. Like you're gonna be check a lot of boxes. So like you need to be in front of these people when that intern like literally right now, when that intern says no and takes another job and they're looking for a lateral hire. Like you need to be right now getting into some interviews.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like right now it should be like, hey, just reaching out to give you an update. I'm working again on another IB internship this fall while I'm working through school. Already been on a couple deals. Would love to just pick your brain. And that's for the people you've talked to. Like give them a little update. Like if there's, I'd still love to talk about what's it like at XYZ company with you if you have a few minutes. Blah blah. Or how's the yield looking on the summer analysts? And they'll be like, sorry, dude, it's all full. They'll probably most of them will be like, sorry, it's all full. I'll keep you in mind. But then if you throughout the year, if you keep being like, hey, and all of a sudden business starts taking off, they're like, shit, we need another headcount, and you're kind of our top of mind. Like, oh, I know this kid. He looks pretty solid. blah blah blah. That's the thing, is like you don't want to let it go stale for 5 months.
Yeah.
Because like right now through 9 months is like that's your game.
Yeah, that's all I got right now.
That's all you got. So like, and as it gets closer and closer, it's less and less likely. Like now is your kind of like highest chance time of getting some interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'd say is like double down on that. Like you have you're starting school in 3 days. Now the next 3 days you should. Is it full course load too?
It's considered full time, but it's on the lighter end.
Okay,
yeah, I did that specifically just because of the internship I have. But yeah.
Yeah, and how many hours do you expect to work at the internship during the year?
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is gonna be like half days, and then Friday is gonna be a full day.
So like 20 plus hours.
Yeah.
This is gonna be brutal. Are you gonna have to work the weekend at all?
Yeah. I mean, if associate comes in, he's like, hey, like I need an extra hand. Like, yeah, me and the other intern will probably come in, but
can this potentially turn into a full time?
Yeah.
Sorry, you broke up.
1VP, one associate. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
their office is pretty small, and they only hire as an as need basis. So what I'm trying to do is, like, hopefully all goes well by the end of my internship, and then request them to request me to move to their LA office, because they're not going to hire at the Costa Mesa office.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
But are there other interns at the LA office?
No, I don't think so for the school year.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That might give you a little in.
Yeah.
Are the MDs or the senior people there close to the senior people in LA?
Oh yeah, actually the principal, or I guess the head honcho of our office, he actually started the investment banking arm of the middle market firm I'm at. So like he is well connected in the firm.
Okay, that's big then.
Yeah, so it's huge. I'm gonna try to get one-on-ones with him as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Great, man. So yeah, I mean, obviously kick ass there. I mean, that's important, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, I would say even ahead of your schoolwork is your networking, is your LinkedIn strategy, and kind of trying to organize that a little bit better. So what I was going to say is that I didn't get to it, but like you need a tool, whether it's you use Gmail a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Outlook or Gmail. So like there's a tool called Write Inbox. There's tons. It doesn't matter there's tons out there. Mm-hmm. It's called Write Inbox. So RIGHT. Inbox.
RIGHT.
Yeah, and so basically all it allows you to do is you can put in automated follow-ups. So if you send an email, and you can put like 1 week on it, and if the person doesn't reply, it pops to the top of your inbox again as unread.
Oh wow, okay.
And so then you're not like GCal, you're not having like 40 things in your GCal. Like if you have 300 of these things going on, there's no way you can keep track in GCal. But if it's in your inbox, and all of a sudden every morning you have like 10 new things pop up to the top, that's time for those 10. Let me hit them again. And you just get in the habit of clearing that out every morning and doing that outreach again.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
So Write Inbox, I think, is a really good tool to use. If you don't want to I think at this point, like building a whole spreadsheet with the color coding on it might be too overkill. Like you don't have time. Mm-hmm. So I think try to get as many things into email. So all the outreach, like all the people that have ignored you on LinkedIn, but they've connected with you, get their email. Mm-hmm. And then let's work on like the specific actual email you're going to send them.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's another thing. Here, let me show you my, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Let me show you like an example. So when I go into, let me see here. So we had a hack attempt last night, just as an example, onto WSO. Awesome. So yeah. So for example, I can go here, hit a reminder. I have all of these defaults. So I can remind me an hour, 4 hours, tomorrow morning, 3 days, 5 days, 1 week, 3 weeks. And so oftentimes I'll be remind me in a week, I'm too busy this week. Mm-hmm. I can put in notes as well here, a private note to myself that they can't see, just to remind myself. So I have a call, I can be boom, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So my point is this tool is, and then so let's say I reply and I'm like, thanks Khalid, thanks Khalid. And then I want to add, I can add templates here. Mm-hmm. So you can quickly pull in templates, boom, boom, boom. You add a reminder. So in 3 days, remind me again, and hit. You can even send later.
Okay.
So it really allows you to, you can have recurring things where every I wouldn't do that because it's too impersonal. It'll look like a robot's doing it. But definitely do the reminders so it pops back up in your inbox.
Got it. Okay.
Start like consolidating all of your networking into like one email, and then you can even tag them. Like, you know, use tags, use your folders. So I have like all of these specific folders. So like under Wall Street Oasis, I have advertising, affiliates, writers, meetups, conferences, tax, corporate info, database subscriptions, defined benefit, all this stuff, family office database, financial modeling courses. So you can see, like, I would definitely do stuff like maybe you do yours like under a networking folder, and then under that you have specific thing like alum, basketball, Game of Thrones. I don't know. I'm just throwing out different things like radio people, whatever your interests are. You know what I mean? And just try to find people under those. So like, or you could do something like IB analysts, IB associates, you know, West Coast, East Coast. Figure out like a method or an organizational tool that allows you to kind of like just bucket them a little bit better, so you kind of have an idea of how you should be reaching out to them. Like, are they super senior? Do they have common interests? Stuff like that.
Okay, got it.
But I would definitely get something like this. There's other tools. There's one called Boomerang. This is right inbox, but there's other ones. It's super, super useful because then shit doesn't fall through the cracks. Like right now, you're probably like super busy. You're at the internship. You're reaching out to like specifically, you know, I don't know how many people. Like, you're already connected to over 500 people. So like you're doing something right. But at the same time, like, you want to be able to scale that way up and not then become disorganized and not follow up.
Yeah, I guess that's been like the hardest part about networking. You're just staying organized.
Yeah. So I think that tool would really help you because you don't have to even keep a sheet. You just have to know that, hey, I will not mark this email unread until I followed up. Okay. So like every morning I get a flow of like, look, I have 44 unread emails. At 8 a.m. you'll see, look at this. All these are reminder emails, right? So it's like, I don't let that go. I either have to reset a reminder on it, or like if I don't have time to get to it, that's fine. But I don't just like read it and forget. Gotcha. Like either reset a reminder on it, so I follow it up the next day or the next week, or if I'm like, shit, I just need to push this, I'm too busy, I just push them all out. That's fine. But don't let it just disappear. Don't read it and then forget. Okay, makes sense. Just get in that habit, and then I think you'll actually be much better at actually following up consistently. When somebody doesn't respond to you, you follow up within a week, and you follow up with like say 2 weeks later after that. I don't know what's your pattern right now. It's initial 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. So in between gaps are at 1 week, wait a week, do another one a week later, and then you wait 4 weeks, or no, you wait 2 weeks. I waited 2 more weeks, so it'd be like the 4 week mark. And you do a third follow up. It's kind of like up in the air. I haven't really stayed consistent after that point. That's kind of my other downfalls. Yeah. Okay. Well, don't worry about it, man. Don't be too hard on yourself. I know you're busy. So yeah. I think, over the summer, it sounds like you did do some good networking and stuff like that. How many people have you been able to actually meet up with in person? I made a San Francisco trip to meet with guys at UBS, FT Partners, and PwC Corporate Finance. Mm-hmm. And that's been the extent of, I guess, like FaceTime. Like 5 of them, you think? Yeah, it would be like, other than like the trip to San Francisco, most of my FaceTime has just been down here with like DA Davidson, obviously B. Riley, Roth, and then I've been meaning to make an LA trip, but it just hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I mean, LA is right there, so it's easy, but like LA also isn't the biggest market. That's true. That's okay. I mean, it's fine. New York may be a long shot for you to get over to while you're doing like an internship and all this stuff. Yeah. That being said, I wouldn't just limit yourself to West Coast. Okay. Makes sense. Do you have any time? Would you ever consider going East Coast? Yeah, definitely. I understand. I got to take what I can get right now. So I was reaching out, like one of my, I guess, this guy I reached out to, he's kind of been mentoring me as well. He was at PwC Corporate Finance in Chicago, and he's really well networked there. So he's been trying to like link me up with people in Chicago. So I'm starting my networking out there as well. Okay. Even I know it's not the biggest market as well, but it's just another shot to get. I think it's bigger than LA for finance. So really, yeah, okay. Yeah, Chicago's pretty big. Yeah, Chicago has a lot of banks. You got Booth there, you got that whole network. I mean, LA is a bigger city, but Chicago's, I think, pretty massive in terms of banks. LA is like, I think San Francisco is much bigger in terms of like actual investment banks, and this whole peninsula area. I'm in the Bay Area. It's, for tech, obviously, it's really big.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, if you can make those trips out there, I don't know how you would do it, but like long weekend, you said you're not working on Mondays, right?
Yeah, I just have class Mondays, but obviously I feel like I can skip.
So like you could fly in on a Sunday night, crash on somebody's couch, or like find a cheap Airbnb. The next morning, if you line up like 10 coffee chats the whole day in Chicago, that could be really productive. That could be a productive $500 spent.
Yeah, actually, my girlfriend is visiting like one of her best friends in Chicago in like a month and a half. So maybe I could just like ride along, hop in her suitcase. But no, definitely, like I thought about going with her. I feel like that'd be a good opportunity. Not just like
if she's going next month, that means you need to put in a lot. Be like, that's that's the perfect intro to everyone in Chicago. Hey, I'm coming to town on you know, it'd be great to just take 10 minutes of your time, buy you some coffee, you know.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, I guess I'll
try to get some people on the try to get some people on the calendar.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll definitely buckle down on that right now.
Because if you can do that, I mean, maybe you just keep your search to Chicago, LA, to SF. That's enough. I feel like that's going to keep you busy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
There's obviously a lot more jobs in New York, but a lot more competition too.
I hear you. Yeah, I feel like I guess most people, like one of the guys I interned with over the summer, from Berkeley actually, we were talking like what we want to do after, and he said he just wants to go strictly to New York. Like he does not want to do IB in SF or anywhere else. Like he's buckling down in New York, and that's it for him. Yeah. I was like, all right. I mean, going to Berkeley is definitely a bet, like a good bet for you, but I feel like they're more heavily recruited in SF.
Of course, yeah. I mean, well, good for him. I mean, hopefully it works out for him.
Yeah, I think he just got an SA offer. He was a junior, or he's an incoming junior, and I'm a year older than him. So he just got an SA offer to Wells.
Nice. Yeah. So he's happy.
Yeah, he's definitely happy. We were just on the phone yesterday, and he's like, "Hey, I'm coming to town. Like, I have another super day, but I just wanted to tell you I got the offer to Wells." And that's like I was so happy for him because I don't know why, but Wells was like his dream. So like super stoked for him. Yeah, it just gives me more motivation to keep on going.
Nice, man. Cool. So like it sounds like you're on the right track. How many people do you think is realistic in terms of to reach out to? Like, can we set some goals here?
In terms of Chicago, or in terms of like holistically?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what you should prioritize. I'm a little bit like, because your girlfriend's going there, you're thinking maybe going with her next month. I'm kind of thinking maybe you should shift to that over this next 3 weeks.
I would say it's a month and a half. I can ask her again, but I think it's like mid-November.
Okay, so it's a ways out.
Yeah.
So you might want to like, to be honest, I didn't do enough research on this, but LA banks, I don't know how many seats there are, but like you may actually not. My guess is USC is your biggest competition.
Yeah, UCLA and USC.
Yeah, there's gonna be some kids there that really like want banking, so like you're gonna be at a disadvantage there, but like your resume's strong, so it's all about just like getting in front of people. So like you should definitely try to increase the number of people you're meeting face to face.
Okay.
Over the next couple months, like from now until November is actually like really important. Like by the time November rolls around, it's really late.
Yeah, I hear you.
People are like already in the new year because it's like Thanksgiving and the holidays. You know what I mean?
It starts slowing down.
Yeah, it starts slowing down. So like recruiting's like basically wrapped up within. I mean, for most places, it already is wrapped up. But like for smaller middle market shops, they still may be looking to fill a couple seats here and there. And so that's kind of your best. That's your best bet. Like if you can get into like a Harris Williams or a Blair or something in Chicago, it would be awesome.
Okay.
I'd see that as a super awesome success story because those banks are awesome too. Like they're great work. It's not like 100-hour weeks. It's more like 70. and like the culture is really, really good there.
That's
so
awesome.
Like I think you'd actually enjoy it, and they support you like actually transitioning out. people always make a joke. I don't know if undergrads like the Harris Williams guys, they all go to bat for you. It's like a big joke. Everyone's like, oh yeah, they go to bat for you. It's like if you look at the forums of like Harris Williams, you'll notice like everyone makes that joke. It's just like it's like yeah, they go to bat. They go to bat for you. Everyone just keeps repeating that phrase.
That's pretty funny.
But it's true. It's like they developed that reputation because they really do support their analysts. So
that's awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, I'll definitely look into them. I know I haven't jotted down on my list, but yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah.
So yeah, trips planned. These notes are wrong. Trips planned to Chicago. I'll put SF. Maybe go back up to SF if you can, but I'd really focus, since you're going to be going to Chicago, I'd really focus on people around you to make it easier on yourself. And if you're struggling, like if you already hit up every single LA banker and like you've gone through that in the next couple of weeks, then yeah, branch out to more SF.
Okay.
See if you can do another trip up here, because that's obviously much easier. That's like a 45-minute plane ride, you know?
Yeah, it's so very easy. Yeah, very doable too.
Cool, man. Okay. Anything else? Questions you have? Like, I know you were with the internship and stuff like that with the financial modeling. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, how can we help?
Yeah.
Do you have time to even like drill on that stuff?
Yeah, that's like what I'm thinking. Like, I don't even know if that's gonna really like. I don't know.
What type of models are you doing? Like merger models?
So it was, yeah, it was merger. I've done a DCF. Like the interview went for this bank specifically. It was an initial call, first round in person, second round with another analyst, and then they gave me a case study to work on for a week. And then after that, I came in, talked to the associate about the case study through and through, and then later that day, I got the offer. But in the case study, all they really required was DCF, comp, and precedent analysis.
Precedent transaction. Yep.
Yeah, so that's all I did. And like really in terms of like my technical studying, it's really just been out of various books and just online reading. It hasn't really been like modeling prep. But the other intern, this is where I was like sweating at the desk. The other intern had like a sell side internship this summer, and he actually bought like the $500 like Wall Street prep guide or modeling course. So he had a lot of experience over the summer. So when we came at the desk and he was like, he handed us the parameters, assumptions, and he was like, hey, like I'm looking at, this, and that, and like I want a merger model, like can you guys start on it? He was like flying through it, and I was just like, I was like looking at him, I was like, hey, like every like couple seconds, I was like, yo, so uses and sources, like what's that?
Yeah. So I think you definitely need to close that gap for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like it's gonna make you more marketable, all that stuff. And plus, it just makes you can put it on your resume. It looks good. Mm-hmm. It just screams banking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's good. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, I think I can definitely put in like hours at night or on the weekend.
Yeah, the hard part is now you're busy with networking too. So it's like,
go
ahead.
Sorry. So that's one question I want to ask. So like coming into the so SAs when they recruit for BBs, I know they have like crazy like good training processes, or even like full-time hires coming out. Do they require you to have modeling skills? I assume not so much for associate.
No, but the problem is nowadays there's so much good self-study out there that the interns do it anyways. So like it can make you look like an underperformer, relatively speaking, because like you said, the guy or gal sitting next to you are like racing through Excel, and so like it's kind of like. It's like it's like your ante, right? You got to it's like table stakes. You got to to play, you have to have that.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so like the good thing is you got that seat even without that. And like you're able to do the DCF, you're able to do some, it sounds like you're not like completely lost. Like you understand trading comps, precedent transactions, you understand how to do a DCF. The other stuff, it's not that hard, man. It's just reps. It's just about getting super fast in Excel, like ripping your mouse out of your keyboard and forcing yourself to do the quick keys. Like just really, it sounds stupid, but like get super fast in Excel.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Get super fast in Excel because people notice those things. Like and else notices you like using your mouse to like realign stuff or like center stuff. They're gonna be like just shaking their head like this. Like, or if they come by and you're like playing your keyboard, you're on your keyboard like it's a piano. and you're just like, in the sheet, the spreadsheet's moving.
Yeah.
People notice. It means like, okay, he's put in the hours. Like he's done 100 hours of Excel modeling before, or he's still in his first 10 hours. You can tell. It's just like playing an instrument. You just got to drill. There are some Excel exercises we have. I don't know if you've seen them. Just like a formatting exercise in the WSO like welcome email sequence. I can shoot that over to you after. It's like just a little drill to help.
Yeah, that'd be super helpful.
Yeah, I'll send you that. But like conceptually, you still need to know sources and uses. You need to know specifically like how to do a merger model. At least conceptually, even if you're not that fast, so that you're not lost like in terms of like, okay, where do I even start?
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Don't feel bad, dude. There's a lot of I didn't even know what banking was like my junior year. But this was the problem was that's 2002. This is 2019.
Yeah,
everybody knows it. There's Wall Street Oasis. There's all the self-study training. We have the interview courses. So like that's like, and we'll do this on our future sessions. We're gonna focus a little bit more on your interview stuff. So we'll do some mock interviews and stuff like that in terms of like tell me your story because I want to make sure that's airtight. So that you're good on the technicals, like you understand conceptually what's going on, even if you're not like a pure expert yet on the financial modeling. And I have confidence that you'll get there. Just you clearly have the smarts. It's just about putting in the reps, man. It's about doing a little less pickup basketball, unfortunately, this fall.
Yeah. That's okay. No, I hear you.
No. Look, I think basketball. That's a great release. Like, don't stop working out, dude, because they'll go crazy. So do your hour, whatever hour a day. That's fine. But like,
no more. Yeah, this quarter I kind of like pretty much told myself it's gonna be airtight in terms of the internship, school, and then all this recruiting.
Well, the networking, you could do 40 hours of networking. You could literally do 40 hours of networking a week.
Yeah, I hear you.
You could.
It's insane.
Like if you graduate, you don't have a job. That's your job. Your job's going to be networking and trying to find a job. So like that will quickly become not 40 hours. That will become 60 to 70 hours. And it's a grind. It's a grind. So, if you don't put in the time now and land the job, that's going to end up being your job full time.
Yeah.
Very soon after. So like you got to kind of prioritize right now. Schoolwork kind of comes third.
Okay. Makes sense.
I think
makes sense.
I think internship is. I don't want your grades to go down to a C. That's the problem. Is like you can't just completely blow it off. You got to go to class. You got to study for your exams and do like get at least A's and B's. You don't want your GPA dropping to like a 3.3 or something. You don't want to be like dropping C's in there and messing up your GPA.
Definitely not. Yeah.
So like definitely keep your cum over a 3.5 if you can. Do whatever it takes to do that. But if you get a couple B's and you mix it in with some A's and it doesn't drop your cum down enough, that's okay.
I hear you. So like it'd be like networking and studying technicals and modeling first, then internship, and then
I would say internship first because if there's an outside chance you can convert that to full time in LA, that's your tickets. Like you already you have a seat technically, and then even though they're really small and they don't necessarily take a kid every year, if you do a really good job, I just don't know like is that other kid is he too far ahead of you? Do you know what I mean? As in the internship where you feel like is he gunning for the same thing?
I know he's recruiting for a lot of banks in San Francisco too, but he did mention like if something opened up here, he would take it.
Of course, yeah,
definitely. But I'm not sure if he's looking towards LA. Like he hasn't mentioned that yet, and that's something.
And look, he's one out of thousands of kids that you're competing with, so don't feel like I gotta just be like you gotta improve on yourself. Yeah. The other thing is don't underestimate. You feel like intimidated about the modeling that can be learned very within 50 hours of training. You can be up to where don't think it's like a year to get you there. Like you can get there pretty fast if you drill and you're actually serious about drilling. Like if you played in Excel as much as you do pick up basketball, you'll actually you would actually become really good. Within a few weeks, I bet. So definitely I'm trying to think priorities, man. I kind of lean on your networking because that's going to open the most doors. You're going to hear about the most kind of off-cycle opportunities through that. And there's so many kids now that are doing it. You kind of have to be there front and center.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I kind of put networking one. I put internship a very close second though, and then I put like, and along with your internship, that includes training in Excel and financial modeling, so that you're looking good to your superior associate or your analyst, whoever you're working for, and then classes after that.
I hear you. I just wrote it down.
And then, yeah, say you can apologize to your girlfriend, and to your to your buddies.
I'll let her know. I'll give her your number so she can yell at you directly.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. You can play me. Tell her, look, if I get a good job, then we're set, and you can come. I mean, do you know where she's gonna be?
Yeah. So she's also in the pre-med route. She just took her MCAT, so she'll be taking a gap year after this year.
Okay, cool.
And then she'll be applying during that gap year and also working probably as a scribe or
Nice.
volunteer role. Yeah.
Do you know where so she can go wherever and kind of go with you? Is that the plan?
Yeah, hopefully. We've been talking about it. Hopefully, whether I get a job down in Southern California or in San Francisco or Chicago even, she'd come with me for that first year.
Nice.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like in medical or as a volunteer or scribe, you could find something pretty easily. And then,
she's more like, just tell me where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. She's like just waiting on it. She's like, come on, like hurry up. I'm like, I'm trying. Like,
yeah,
it's hard. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, it is, especially coming from Irvine, man. It's very hard. It's very hard, and the odds are stacked against you, man. Like, I remember when I was in your seat coming from Williams, a small liberal arts college, I was like, oh, I got this, and this was in 0102, like when the world was melting. I still was overconfident. I don't know what it was. Like, just because like I had always worked my ass off and done well, like in school, and done well, like sport, done okay in sports, and I was like just used to work. I'm like, why wouldn't somebody take me? Like, I'm gonna work my ass off.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the world, but then all of a sudden the world started melting, and like everyone was canceling their on-campus recruiting. Like, at least we had on-campus recruiting.
That's awesome.
And it was one of the last, but it was a problem, man. Like, I think as a young guy who's like used to having success, you can oftentimes, especially if you're like good with people and you're comfortable communicating, like you're comfortable communicating, you're comfortable sitting in front of them, it's obvious you'd be a good interviewer. You run the risk significantly of under prepping, thinking that that's going to carry you through because you're comfortable enough. Like me, like I was like thinking I can go in there and not wing it, but like, okay, we'll do a couple mock interviews. I'm good. No. Like, I got so much better by the end. By my 20th interview, I was like, shit, if I had that in, if I was like that on by my first, I would have had like 3 offers. Instead, I had, like, I was hanging on to I got like that one of the last offers, like Rothschild. I worked as an analyst at Rothschild, and like it was one of the last interviews. And there's a reason, I think there's a reason it was one of my last interviews that I got the offer. Because by that point, like, I was just super laser focused, knew exactly how to answer the technicals, knew exactly how to answer the behaviorals. I wasn't ready, man. Like, I just wasn't ready in the first few. I had interviews with Goldman. I made it to Super Day, but I wasn't at that level.
Yeah,
do you know
makes
what I mean?
sense.
That was my like technicals, super polished. And now, even coming from a liberal arts college, like back then they wouldn't expect you to like know all the technicals. Now they'd expect you to know that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So like, I think you're in good shape. I think you're a sharp kid. I think you're going to get there. It's just a question of like, it's a race, man. It's a race now, and it's a race of priorities because you're so busy with this fall internship. I think the fall internship's almost like it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it allows you to put another couple transactions on your resume. It allows you to kind of reemphasize banking is what you want to do. So that's really, really solid. It's a little bit of a curse because you could think that's enough. You know what I mean? Where like you don't have to be really polished on the interviews, or like the networking you can kind of slow down on. Like I want to keep that fire where like the networking has to keep like go full steam ahead, and you need to do some. I think we're going to really focus heavily on the mock interviews. So when you get those few shots, and even to the case where like we have these sessions set up where it's once a month we're talking and you're doing these little video updates in between. If it comes down to like we need to do more sessions up front because it's like crunch time and all of a sudden you have an interview, let's just hop on the phone and do a mock interview.
I'm with it. Yeah.
It's like this could be it. Your next 3-4 months. This could be you're the only shot you get until like you graduate. So like I don't want to be like, oh no, we can only talk once a month. Like let's just actually get you ready. so that
that.
you may only have 2 interviews.
What'd you say?
You may only have 2 or 3 interviews that are like are good at good shots that are good shots.
I hear you.
So I want to make sure that like you're super polished going into those, like your technicals you just nail them, and then more importantly, like you're really likable and your fit is on point.
Makes sense. Yeah, I hear you. It's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a grind.
Yeah. So questions. Do you have any questions in terms of like next steps? What you're thinking?
I did have one.
So
it's gonna be. Oh, I know. I forgot her name. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
She emailed me saying she dropped something in my WSO account.
Yeah, it's probably the interview courses.
Okay, but I think she also emailed those to me, and I downloaded those.
Yeah, you can grab them either from the email. I would grab the ones from the profile because those might be a little outdated. The ones that she emailed, they're from a different system.
Okay.
So just log in and then go to my profile on the bottom on the left under your image. There'll be like links to download them.
I see my profile.
Make sure the email that you're logged into is like the same as and by the way, we're releasing a new whole learning management system in the next month. So it's going to be badass. You're going to have all the modules and lessons right there. It'll be much easier to study.
Okay, great.
You won't have to just use the PDF.
The email's a little different. So do I have to create a new account then?
No. What email were you emailing her with? Different one?
Yeah.
So you might want to like log in, make sure you log in with that email because that's probably what she'd attach it to. If you want her to put it on another email, that's fine. You can just shoot her an email, be like, hey, do you mind putting it on this email or this account?
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask her to do that. And then you also mentioned reporting my resume to the WSO template. And is that also on my account or?
Yeah, just do a Google search, do WSO resume template. You'll find it. It's I think it'll be the IB one. Yeah, here it is. I'll shoot this over to you. So it's forum/investment banking resume template.
Awesome.
And you should be able to download it. I'll send you the link.
Okay, sweet.
That'll just give you a little extra space for like, especially with this new internship coming in and the new transactions, you're going to need that.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Sounds good. I'll definitely do that.
And less is more, man. Don't try to pack it all. Definitely send it to me once you kind of have done it, and I'll take a quick look, so that we can kind of you can start using that.
Okay, sounds good.
But yeah, I don't think there's no glaring issues on your resume right now. I think it's pretty solid. So
okay, sweet.
Yeah. What else? Yes, I mean just key. Yeah, I think those priorities are the key, and then if you do, find out about, have you heard anything about like specific lateral spots open or like any spots that weren't filled with summer analysts? Nothing, right?
Not yet, no.
Have people said, like, I think all the offers are out and accepted, right?
Yeah, most people said like, oh, we're all booked up, like Lincoln International in LA. Like I had a call with them a couple weeks ago, one of their analysts who actually like leads the recruiting. Kind of funny that an analyst does that. But yeah, he said
that's more common than you think, man. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to reach out to like VPs and MDs. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes the analyst associates are like running the process.
That makes sense. I mean, you're working with them, I guess, more or less a lot more than the MDs and VPs.
Exactly.
No, but I have all the priorities listed. I took all notes. I'm ready and set to go. I think it'll be an exciting journey. Super.
Yeah, I mean, I think like if we're running up into the wall of just there's no seats left,
mm-hmm.
you just want to be around the hoop and be ready for when that one little seat opens up. And I think if it takes you going to an FLDP program or even a tiny boutique bank, like at a place maybe that's not ideal, maybe you do a little cold calling, but you have banking experience and you're working and maybe making a crap salary and hating life, it still is better than being unemployed.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then plus once you're already there and you can keep hanging around the hoop, you keep networking. Mm-hmm. Like if you can get into whatever area you want to live, whether it's LA, SF, Chicago, whatever it is, if you can get into a tiny boutique bank and get that experience. I had a podcast interview with a guy who for 2 years, I mean, he had it bad, man. He was working for a guy that was just sounded awful, like paying him $1,000 a month. Jesus. He was living in like a shoebox, but he was getting deal experience. Mm-hmm. He was like doing reps. And so he was like, and then he had like associate title, and he finally ended up transferring to like a more reputable firm, but it took him like 2 years.
Yeah.
he had a different story, man. He came from India. He was like literally for his MBA program. He had never lived in the US, so he had it really tough. Mm-hmm. You can imagine like his accent was stronger. It was like you've been here your whole life, man. Like you have no excuse, right?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be much easier for you if you make sure you just get the right experience. Like work for free if you have to.
Okay.
Like just live on ramen and whatever you have to. Or like be like, mom and dad, lend me 10 grand just to survive on. You know what I mean? Whatever it has to be.
Yeah.
If they can afford it, to make sure you're getting the right experience on your resume right out of the gate. Because you can know, as long as you're like likable and you keep drilling, you get better financial modeling and you keep networking, and you're likable, you're gonna get reps at an interview. And then it's just about crushing an interview, and I can help you with that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm all for it. So how would like the timeline look like? I know right now these next couple of months is strictly IB, but I know you said like, FP&A roles and TAS. Like when would we start looking at those? Or
I'd start hedging right now, man. I wouldn't get too late. So like I would talk to anybody who's in corp dev, corp finance, corporate M&A. I mean, that might be a kick-ass career, corp M&A, if you can find places like where you're actually doing deals. And by the way, if you're doing corporate M&A and you want to go to banking, that's an easy transition if you're actually doing transactions. So yeah, I would look at startups. I would look at people in corporate, in corp dev. Usually the problem is they want people, they don't take kids right out of undergrad. Usually they want kids who've been through banking. So, but still network with these people because they may know a lot of bankers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely do that.
Don't look at just investment bankers. Look at people who from Irvine that maybe work in corp dev or corp fin.
Okay, makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
I think it's important that you really focus on specific common interests. You don't just link it, like email everybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, having like those similarities definitely helps when you're trying to like connect with the person.
Yeah,
I've had some pretty weird calls, like where I just did not connect at all with the person. Which I've learned my lesson.
Cool, man. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's it for now, man. Let's just stay in touch. Let me know if something comes up. You're like, hey, there's an interview coming up. Oh, I'm freaking out. Like, let's definitely do a call then in a session earlier, even if it means we skip one later on down the road. Because I think I don't want you to like not be prepped because we had some sort of strict schedule or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That sounds great. Hopefully that does happen.
Yeah, and look, don't get discouraged if it doesn't. Like, just I want you to build out that network. I want you to get that tool in place that you're actually getting more organized with your networking and stuff like that. And then, man, I want you to have like I call it my reminder cycle. I want you to be having at least like eventually get up to like 100 conversations, 100 emails out where you're like, every week you're like, oh man, there's another set of reminders. I gotta email another 10 people, another 5 people, another 10 people. Do you know what I mean?
All for it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You'll be in better shape.
Awesome.
Cool, man.
Everything's good at home. I know you said you lost your nanny of 4 years.
Yeah, it's been brutal. The last week that's why I haven't shaved in like forever. I'm a wreck, dude. I haven't slept. It's been a rough week. Last week was probably the hardest week I've had in a long time. Yeah. So
I can't imagine like taking care of the kids and also running the business. Like, I'm sure it's a lot. Yeah.
That we're interviewing like crazy. So it's
awesome. Yeah, I did see the job postings or the intern postings. So that's awesome. Yeah, hopefully that all works out well for you guys.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it goes well. I think we're doing a lot of things on WSO with not just this show. We're launching a lot of other kind of podcasts and shows and stuff. So I think it'll be good.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see it all.
All right, man. We'll chat soon. Good luck. Yeah, keep me updated, okay?
Yeah, will do. Right. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, man. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
And thanks to you, my listeners at Wall Street Oasis. If you have any suggestions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to send them my way, patrick@wallstreetoasis.com. Until next time.